Shalom everybody, my name is Rabbi Dr. Shapira and I'm the author of The Fall of Edom. Recently I made a video for you that reached tens of thousands of people to explain to you the significance of what I wrote in the book as we are preparing for the final stage of Gog and Magog. Today, with the entry of Donald Trump into the White House, we receive yet another shocking news from Israel. And I sincerely hope that we see the parallels and understand what is happening right now. I make those videos for you in order for you to understand, because deception is great in these last days. Just today, we received the shocking news from Israel. Herzi Halevi, the head of the entire IDF, the supreme general of the IDF who carried the attacks in Lebanon and in Syria and in Iran and in Gaza to respond to October the 7th, put his resignation letter on dating to March the 6th. And he said, I have failed the Jewish Israeli people, and before that, we must go home. And when I say we, I don't mean just himself. The Southern commander, the head of the entire IDF Southern Brigade, his name is Finkelman, also resigned today with the word, I have failed the Jewish people on October the 7th. Friends, those resignations coming in the exact same day that Donald Trump is entering into the office. And you probably wonder, what is the connection? I hope that today you will get the answer and the understanding of that. At the same time that the two supreme leaders of Israeli military, the IDF, resigning, we receive stunning quotes and comments from Iran. Iran had outreach ministry, meaning the one that was the diplomat who was responsible for all foreign affairs. Ismail Bakai says the ceasefire in Gaza is a complete defeat to the Zionist entity and to their allies. This is another example of the victory at will, resistance and confrontation with the occupation. Do you hear the word resistance? Friends, do not deceive yourself. Even today, Ali Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, tweeted and released a video in Hebrew that you see now in the screen. And he himself quoted in Hebrew and says, the residents of Gaza stand like a mountain, and despite the fall of the prominent figures like Yahya Sinwar, the resistance front will not stop at any moment. Hamas is alive and Hamas will remain alive. And without a doubt, we are seeing it right now, that Hamas is not yet to be destroyed. That's why Herzi Halevi, the supreme general of the IDF, the mighty IDF, put the keys and left today. In my book, The Fall of Edom, in page 91, I wrote, and I stand behind this word, 15 months ago, that the son of Esav will not be defeated only by the Mashiach, son of Yosef, the guardian of the covenant, the righteous foundation of the world, the power of the kingdom cannot be touching it. So today a shock took place in Israel. We have seen the two supreme leaders of the IDF simply say, we fail. And this failure is continuous because, as we have seen, when the three hostages has been released, Hamas is still in power, Hamas is still controlling Gaza, and Hamas is still in charge of all the people of Gaza. How should we understand it in light of what's happening here in the United States of America? What is the connection to this shocking event that took place today in Israel? Let me say a few things about this speech, because we have to understand what is happening right now in the United States of America. What is the connection with welcoming Donald Trump to the White House as what is happening and what is about to happen in Israel? There are two things that I want you to pay attention closely from Donald Trump's speech, from his own words from his own mouth. Roughly 7 minutes into the speech, he said, and I quote, "I felt then and believe that even more so now that my life was saved for a reason. I was saved by God to make America great again." The second fundamental point that Donald Trump is making in this speech that I want you to pay attention to come in the 21st minute. And he said, "My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker, of a unifier." That's what I want to be, a peacemaker and a unifier. I want you to understand what he's saying, what Israel understanding, and what you, a Bible believer, need to pay attention for. Point number one, God did not save Donald Trump's life to make America great. God saved Donald Trump's life to usher the coming of the Messiah. Brothers and sisters, Donald Trump is in office right now because God is going to use this man in a way that you cannot imagine in order to usher Gog and Magog that will ultimately usher the coming of the Messiah. We have entered in with Donald Trump for the fast pace and for the fast lane that will usher the coming of King Messiah. Make no mistakes again. He might think that it is for him to make America great, but in reality, he is ushered into this White House to bring the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And not because he is such a great and holy God. It is because God is hastening the times and the seasons before us. You probably ask, how is he going to hasten the coming of the Messiah? Pay attention, brothers and sisters. Today, in the Israeli leading newspaper, we receive a stunning article. Look what it says. It says this: "Let us understand it in context. Trump deal of a Nobel Prize when comes with a big shot, meaning a big baseball bet against Netanyahu, that these are expectation in Israel." Israel expecting right now, believe it or not, although the good things that he has done in day one is to pull a big baseball bat and knock Netanyahu out of the ballpark. Yes, brothers and sisters, you hear it here today and you need to understand those things. Listen to what the article reads. It says, the US president returned into the White House with somebody whispering in his ear that Netanyahu is the problem, not the solution. And this is the large extent he possesses a trait to the prime minister coalition. His baby is normalization with Saudi Arabia, and Israel is in surprise with support for transferring power to the Palestinian Authority. Brothers and sisters, there are two things that you need to pay attention to that are coming down our way. Number one, the end of Benjamin Netanyahu regime as the prime minister of Israel. And who is going to be knocking him out of the ballpark? Brothers and sisters, it's going to be Donald Trump. It's going to be Donald Trump, more than likely his administration. Although everything started good, we know right now that with this so-called ceasefire, the days of Benjamin Netanyahu are coming to an end. And what is the second thing? It is the baby, meaning the ultimate goal of Donald Trump, to bring a peace and normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia. And you probably wonder the question, what's wrong with us? Don't we want peace with our neighbors? Wait, we will get there in just one moment. Listen to the second part of this article. It says, the first test of relations is the transition of phase 2 of the deal, with Trump preparing a temptation package. I want you to underline those words: to prevent sign the resumption of fighting. Netanyahu promised to Smotrich a political game, and also the hope that that Tehran will come to their knees without an attack. Brothers and sisters, we need to understand what's happening right now. A temptation package is prepared to Israel, and it seems sweet as an honey, and this temptation package is prepared by the United States of America. The article continues and read, behind the scenes, there's already indication that this closeness of Trump to Israel has a positive consequences for it. The understanding in the region, and especially in Saudi Arabia and Iran, is that Israel has Trump brought back. This is certainly good news in terms of normalization with Saudi Arabia. Trump baby is expansion of the Abraham Accord, the peace agreement signed between Israel and the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Morocco during the first term, and his main goal is to the normalization of the same agreement with Saudi Arabia. Friends, this is coming. And the article continues and read, Trump emphasized this in an inaugural speech last night when he said he wants to bring and to be remembered as a peacemaker. It will certainly require Israel to pay in Palestinian currency, which would jeopardize Netanyahu coalition. The normalization train has already left the station. Brothers and sisters, the normalization train that leading to this peace accord that ultimately will fail has left the station the moment Donald Trump has entered to the White House. Today we read in these words from Donald Trump's mouth, and you see it in Hebrew, and I paraphrase for you. Trump on normalization between Israel and Saudi Arabia. He said Riyadh will be part of Abraham Accord. He is telling us that. Donald Trump has asked about the normalization today and say, I think Riyadh will be part of Abraham Accord. He asked, will you put pressure on two countries to come to normalization? He said, I will not put the pressure upon them, but I know it will happen. Even if we're not right now, it will be part of Abraham Accords again, and they will be expanded. We need to understand that you probably still ask the question, why this is so critical? Why this is the road for Gog and Magog? Listen to this. And especially to my American friends, do you want to make America great again? There is only one way to make America great again, and it is by making Israel great again, and stand behind the Jewish people, and stand behind the Jewish state, and hold on to your promises of no two-state solution. You see, God has not spared Donald Trump's life for one purpose. He served it for a greater purpose, which is not the United States of America. The rabbis tell us that all things that are happening all throughout the world happen for one thing, for Israel, salvation, to usher the coming of the Messiah. He is promising Israel safety and peace and shalom. But in the book of 1 Thessalonians 5:3, he says, when they are telling you shalom and safety, sudden destruction will come upon them like a woman who having a birth pain in the womb. There is no way that they will escape. Brothers and sisters, the fact that we hear the word shalom and safety upon Israel peace accords right now, we know that the days of destruction and the birth pangs are upon us. Do not fall to this deception. In the book, The Fall of Edom, page 111, I wrote, and I stand behind this, over a year ago, Iran will do everything in their power to stop the peace agreement. The peace agreement between Saudi Arabia and Israel that the United States will broker is the ultimate trigger for the final stage of Gog and Magog, and ultimately for Third World War. As the Midrash explained, Iran responded to the world, Persia destroyed the entire world, was to understand precisely what is happening in the world today. The peace agreements, known as Abraham Accord, represent a remnant of Ishmael being redeemed. But at the same time, it's also provoked the demonic entity of Persia, of Russia, and the China, North Korea, with the help of the spirit of Edom, to start the final and the worst attack in the history of the Jewish people. Brothers and sisters, those peace agreements by themselves are not a bad thing, but they are playing for the plot where Iran will not allow those deals to sign without provoking World War III together with Russia. I want you to understand this today. And rather than rejoice, we must pray that no false agreement, no false peace will be signed between Israel and the Arab world. Even though we want peace, those agreements are the sure path for Gog and Magog. In page 149, I wrote, "Today many nations have come to the gate. Some accuse Israel of a genocide, some of forcing Israel in unreasonable two-state solution, and some want to divide Jerusalem by forcing the gates of the city to open. Yet the Lord continued to call Israel Ami, my people, through the judgment period, as the love of Israel is eternal. In both cases, the enemy used the sin of the mouth and the sin of the eyes to penetrate the Jewish people to bring their destruction. May Israel will not fall to those sins. May Israel not take this package. May Israel will not be naive. And may God will not use America. This should be our prayer. Will not use America for a temptation package like a bowl of red stew of Esau. May God help America, protect Israel, and may He give all of us eyes to see and ear to hear quickly, as we are entering into the final stages that will lead us to Gog and Magog. We're in the days of 1 Thessalonians 5:3. God bless you. Read the Fall of Edom. Shalom, everybody.